Good morning, everyone. This morning, our text from that is called the Ancient Testimony is from the Gospel according to St. Luke in the 24th chapter, and I think you're probably very familiar with this text. But we invite you this morning to listen to the text a bit differently, from the voice and the perspective of Rebecca. Rebecca, in this case, is the unnamed companion of Cleopas, walking home to Emmaus from Jerusalem. So if you would, imagine yourselves as members of the same church of Cleopas and Rebecca in their hometown of Emmaus. And they are finally returning there after the festivities of the latest Passover festival. And they are going to groups of people in their church to tell them about the things that they have experienced, which are rather fantastic. So we'll get Rebecca in the room and begin. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for gathering today so that I could speak with you. I'm sorry it took us so long to get back from Jerusalem, but Cleopas and I have had quite an adventure. You'll be amazed by everything that has happened to us since we left for the Passover. Now, it all started when Cleopas and I were walking home to Emmaus. We were deep in conversation, talking about everything that had happened to Jesus. It was awful. In the middle of our talking and questioning as we walked along, Jesus came up and walked with us. But we didn't know who he was. We didn't recognize him. He looked to us like a stranger. After a while, as we were walking, he asked us what we were talking about so intently and seriously. This really stopped us in our tracks. We were startled, and I'm sure he noticed our sad faces at the same time. Finally, Cleopas said what we were both already thinking. "Are you the only one in Jerusalem who hasn't heard what's been happening the last few days?" He just stood there curiously and said, What happened? So Cleopas set him straight. The things, he said, the things that happened to Jesus the Nazarene, you didn't know? We tried to explain to him that Jesus was a great man of God, a prophet. His works and his words amazed everyone. He was clearly blessed by both God and the people. We confess that we all had our hopes up so much that he was the one, the Messiah that we've all been waiting for, the one to deliver Israel. We told him how our high priests and leaders had betrayed Jesus and got him sentenced to death and crucified him. We shared how some of our women completely confused us because they went to the tomb, but they couldn't find his body. And then they came back with this story, this wild story about seeing a vision of angels who said to them, "He is not here, he's alive." We told him how some of our friends immediately then ran off to the tomb to check it out themselves, but they also found it empty, just as the women had said to them. And they didn't see Jesus either. Well, as the stranger was listening to my husband share all of this, he began shaking his head like this and saying, "So thick-headed, so slow-hearted, Why can't you simply trust what the prophet said? Don't you see that these things had to happen? That the Messiah had to suffer and only then enter into his glory? Well, after that, we walked on together, and he continued to talk, and he started teaching us, first with the books of Moses and then all through the prophets, pointing out everything in the scriptures that referred to the Messiah. Later, quite a bit later, when it was almost evening and we were near the village again, he acted as if he was going to continue walking on down the road. But we urged him to stay with us, come in and share our meal. And so he did. He came in with us, and he sat down at the table across from us. Now, friends, you need to listen carefully to this next part, because this is so important. This is exactly what happened. Taking the bread, he blessed it and broke it and gave it to us. And at that very moment, it was as if our eyes were open wide and we recognized him. It was Jesus. Jesus. And then just as suddenly, he disappeared from our sight. We couldn't see him anywhere. Of course, Cleopas and I were completely stunned, and we tried hard to make sense of what was happening to us. We even shared how we both felt our hearts kind of on fire when he talked with us on the road and opened the scriptures for us. We'd never heard the scriptures like that before. We decided not to waste a minute. We got up right then and hurried all the way back up to Jerusalem to tell the 11 what had happened to us. We found them and many friends gathered together, and everyone there was saying how it's really happening. The Master is raised. Even Simon has seen him. Then we told them everything that had happened to us on the road to Emmaus and how we recognized him in the breaking of the bread. So, beloved friends, this is why I asked to see you today. I wanted to share everything with you about what happened to us on the road to Emmaus. But now I really have to go. I need to hurry and join Cleopas, because we're making a journey to the next village to spread the good news with our friends over there. Thank you so much for welcoming me. And please remember us in your prayers, as we will remember all of you. Goodbye.